All right, folks, starting back here again at my car. Again, there's the St. Mary's Grotto in the Holy Cross Cemetery here in Culver City, California. We're going to look at two graves. One of them is right down here. We're going to check out the grave of Bela Lugosi. Here he is. You don't recognize his name? Famous actor. He was born in Hungary, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. You will remember him as Dracula. He was I believe, the first actor that played Dracula, and with his thick European accent, he was a perfect part. There he is. Hello, Mr. Bela. And right over here, I want to talk about the grave of Robert Brown. They called this guy Bob. He was tied to the Jonestown tragedy committed by Jim Jones in 1978. So let's talk about that. Young Mr. Bob Brown was born February 8th, 1942. He was a journalist. He was a cameraman. He was a 12-year veteran working for NBC News in Los Angeles. The story of Jonestown was electrifyingly portrayed in a 1981 movie. I think it was 1981 on television, starring Powers Booth as Jim Jones. Powers Booth did a great job portraying who Jim Jones really was. Of course, this is now 2025. We're living in a generation that may not even be aware of this. The Jonestown tragedy is where a group of people followed Jim Jones, their cult leader, who claimed to be essentially the Messiah. He moved his congregation from San Francisco down to Jonestown, Guyana, Africa, right near Georgetown. He named Jonestown after himself. It was an agricultural project, which he told his people there was nuclear war coming to the United States and they needed to escape, so they followed him. In 1978, Congressman Leo Ryan in California announced that he was going to Guyana to investigate Jim Jones and his People's Temple settlement, because he was getting reports that people were being forced to stay there against their will. There was sexual abuse going on. I've read a lot about Jim Jones. There were at least 8 murders connected with the People's Temple in San Francisco that we never really got solid answers on, but they were definitely tied to Jim Jones and the People's Temple. Now, Bob Brown accompanied Congressman Leo Ryan over to Jonestown. I understand Jackie Spear was there too, and she's still in the Congress. But there were several people that wanted to get out of Jonestown, and so they followed the group over to the airstrip, the Kaituma Airstrip, and a couple of Jones's men followed the tractor that carried the refugees away, and they just opened fire on them at the airport, and among them that fell was Bob Brown here. He was filming at the time, and there's some video footage that's still available. It shows the gunman opening fire, and Bob Brown lost his life, 36 years of age, all because of a madman called Jim Jones that just felt that he was God. So I'll put a link. It was a 1980 film. I'll put a link to that in the description below. It's like 2.5, 3 hours. It's worth watching if you've never seen the story of Jim Jones. It's very disturbing. The reason why I recommend you watch it is because these sorts of things have happened in every generation and can happen today. So here he is. Most people that died in Jonestown, there were over 912 people that either committed suicide because they drank Kool-Aid laced with cyanide, If you've ever heard the term drink the Kool-Aid, this is the origin right here. Jim Jones in Jonestown. They killed themselves by drinking cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. Some of them were killed because they refused to kill themselves. But here lies Bob Brown, and pray he rests in peace. I'll tell you, Congressman Ryan and Bob Brown and others took an awful chance going down there and confronting Jones and letting people leave, but they paid with their lives. Rest in peace, Mr. Brown. And I highly recommend you see this made-for-TV movie. I'll link it.